Imagine you're running a race, but the referee keeps moving the finish line. You're sprinting, sweating, grinding, and every time you get close, the line slides just a little further away. That's not bad luck. That's the financial system you and I live in. Our parents worked, saved, played by the rules, and still got smoked by inflation, debt, and a game they never had a chance of winning. But there's a glitch in the matrix, a lifeboat, and it's called Bitcoin. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Bitcoin can protect your savings, preserve your freedom, and maybe, just maybe, save your financial future. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn is the biggest money story of our lifetime. Here's what we're about to break down. First, we'll expose the money trap, why our current financial system is silently stealing from you. Then, I'll show you how Bitcoin fixes that problem in plain English, no tech jargon. Next, we'll look at the attacks, the myths, and the lies, and why Bitcoin keeps surviving every single one. Then I'll walk you through how to actually buy and store Bitcoin safely. And at the end, I'll give you the mindset and next steps that turn you from a passive observer into someone who's building real financial resilience. Stick around till the end, because I'll share one mindset shift that separates long-term winners from everyone else chasing hype. Let's dive in. Quick note before we get rolling. This video is for education, not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm here to help you understand the system, not promise profits. This channel is all about learning how money really works so you can make your own informed decisions. Let's start with the problem, because if you don't understand the disease, you'll fall for the wrong cure. What's the disease? It's called inflation. Inflation is the silent tax that eats your savings while pretending to be economic growth. Here's a short version. Your dollar today buys what roughly 35 cents did in 2000. If you're a millennial or Gen Z, you've watched house prices, rent, and groceries skyrocket while your paycheck stays flat. That's not an accident, that's the design. We used to have something called the gold standard. Our money was backed by actual gold, meaning you couldn't just print more of it. But in 1971, President Richard Nixon ended that connection. He basically said, let's trust politicians instead of math. And ever since then, the US dollar and every major currency has been backed by nothing but government promises. When governments spend more than they make, which is always, they print more money to cover the gap. And when they do that, your savings lose value. You didn't vote for it, you didn't approve it, but every new dollar they print makes your dollars weaker. Between the year 2020 and 2022, the US printed about 40% of all dollars that have ever existed. That's why eggs went from $2 to $6. The system is a treadmill that speeds up every year. And regular people, we're told to just work harder while our money melts in slow motion. Your savings account isn't saving you. It's quietly burning you alive through inflation. So if the system is broken, what's the alternative? That's where Bitcoin comes in. If you're already starting to feel that itch, that sense that something isn't right, hit subscribe, because this channel is where we cut through the noise and teach real financial literacy without the hype. Now, let's meet the solution. Okay, so what is Bitcoin? Strip away the tech jargon, and here's the truth. Bitcoin is digital money that no one controls. Not banks, not governments, and not billionaires. It's decentralized, borderless, and mathematically limited. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, period. No one can print more, no one can counterfeit it. That's what makes it powerful. Think of it like digital gold, but smarter. Gold was great because it was scarce and hard to fake. Bitcoin takes that idea and puts it on the internet with 24/7 transparency and zero middlemen. Now, let's talk about how it works. Simply, Bitcoin runs on something called a blockchain. Imagine a global notebook that records every transaction, but no single person or company owns that notebook. Thousands of computers, called nodes, all hold the same copy. Every 10 minutes, they agree on what's new in the notebook. That's a block. Once it's written, it can't be changed. That's what makes Bitcoin trustless. You don't have to trust the bank, you trust the math. Now, who adds those blocks? That's the miners. They use energy and computing power to secure the network and earn new Bitcoin as a reward. Every 4 years, the reward gets cut in half. That's the halving. It's built-in scarcity. It's like a gold mine that gets harder to dig from every angle. And there's a countdown clock everyone can see. This 21 million limit is the beating heart of Bitcoin. It's the exact opposite of the infinite money glitch we saw earlier. If you hold 1 Bitcoin, that slice of the network will always be 1 in 21 million forever. That's why people call Bitcoin a hedge against inflation. It's money that respects your effort, and this is why the people in power hate it. They can't print it, freeze it, or fake it. That's why it's revolutionary. If that idea of money that respects your effort hits home, drop a like. It helps more beginners find the real story instead of crypto hype. Now, if Bitcoin's so perfect, why does it get attacked so much? Let's open that door next. Bitcoin's story isn't smooth. It's a war. Every time someone tried to kill it, it's come back stronger. Let's rewind to 2013. Early Bitcoin exchanges were hacked. Critics laugh, and media called it digital tulips. Then in 2017, first big bubble popped. Bitcoin crashed from nearly $20,000 to $3,000. Game over, right? Wrong. Developers kept building, the network kept running, and people who understand what they owned didn't flinch. Then came 2021, China, which had over 50% of Bitcoin's mining power, banned mining overnight. Everyone panicked. Hash rate, the measure of Bitcoin's computing power, dropped like a rock. But within 6 months, it recovered completely. Why? Because miners packed up their rigs and moved to countries like the US, Kazakhstan, and Canada. Bitcoin didn't die, it just routed around censorship. That's when people realized this thing is anti-fragile. It doesn't just survive chaos, it thrives on it. Look at Argentina, where inflation hit 200%. Look at Nigeria, where citizens use Bitcoin because their banks limit their withdrawals. Look at El Salvador, they made it legal tender. Everywhere the traditional system fails, Bitcoin steps in as plan B. And this is the pattern. The more the system cracks, the more people look for something outside of it. Now, let's crush a few myths while we're here. No, Bitcoin isn't used mainly by criminals. According to Chain Analysis, less than 1% of crypto transactions in 2023 were linked to illicit activity, far less than in traditional banking. And no, it's not wasting energy. Bitcoin uses energy to protect value, the same way banks use skyscrapers and servers. In fact, more and more of its mining comes from renewable sources, and miners often use energy that would otherwise be wasted. And yes, it's volatile, but so is any new technology. The internet was volatile too. Short-term noise, long-term signal. We've seen Bitcoin resist attacks, bans, crashes, and propaganda. So the question becomes, how do you build the right mindset to use it, not fear it? That's coming up next. Owning Bitcoin isn't just holding digital money. It's changing how you think about time, effort, and value. Most people don't lose money in Bitcoin because of Bitcoin. They lose because of impatience. They treat it like a lottery ticket, not a long-term strategy. And the winners, they zoom out. They think in decades, not days. Every 4 years, the halving cuts the mining reward in half. That means less new supply, and historically, price follows scarcity. 2012 halving, Bitcoin went from $12 to $1,100. 2016, it went from $650 to $20,000. And in 2020, it went from $9,000 to over $60,000. And the next halving, 2028, not a guarantee, but a pattern. Bitcoin rewards patience. Don't trade volatility, own scarcity, dollar cost average. Buy small, steady amounts. It's like planting seeds every week instead of betting everything on one storm. Bitcoin teaches discipline. It rewards people who plan. So ask yourself, are you reacting or are you building? When the next wave hits, you don't want to say, I knew about Bitcoin early, but I never did anything. Now that your mindset's locked in, let's make sure you know how to do this safely. Step 1, choose a reputable exchange. Start simple, Coinbase, Kraken, or crypto. Step 2, secure your account. Enable two-factor authentication, app, not text message. Step 3, move to self-custody. Not your keys, not your coins. When you move to self-custody, you'll get a seed phrase, 12 or 24 words that act as your recovery backup. Write them down, store them safely, and never share them. If someone asks for your seed phrase, They're trying to rob you. And once you're in self-custody, you truly own your money. No bank can freeze it, no government can inflate it, no company can seize it. Even $10 a week builds a habit, and habits beat hype every time. If you want me to do a full hardware wallet breakdown, comment wallets. If enough of you ask, I'll film it. Now that you know how to stay safe, let's kill the myths that scare beginners away. Myth 1. It's too volatile. Volatility means opportunity. Early equals growth. Myth 2. It's too late. Only 2.5% of the world owns Bitcoin. You're early. Myth 3. Governments will ban it. They can restrict access, but they can't kill it. Bitcoin has no CEO, no headquarters, and no off switch. And the biggest mindset trap, fear. Be curious, be disciplined, and zoom out. Because Bitcoin isn't about getting rich quick, it's about staying free long term. Let's recap. The fiat system is broken. Inflation steals your time and energy. Bitcoin fixes that with scarcity, decentralization, and transparency. It's survived every attack. It's grown stronger every year. The Bitcoin mindset is about patience, consistency, and security. The myths, dead. The facts, clear. Here's what's next. More countries adopting Bitcoin, more companies holding it, more people learning financial sovereignty. Bitcoin isn't a trend, it's a transformation. So the question is, which side are you on? Because the system may be rigged, but for the first time in history, you have a way out. If you got value from this, subscribe to Smash Crypto Zone. Then watch my next video, how to buy Bitcoin safely in 2025. That's your next step toward building real financial freedom, one sat at a time.